Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stampin' Up with Jaimie. Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. If you're catching this on replay, either on my blog or on YouTube, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. This is my Facebook Live, and I will be interacting with people, but this is the replay, so I'm just going to bring up comments on my video here so I can follow along and not miss anything, hopefully. I wasn't on last week. I really missed everyone, and it's amazing. All it takes is like 1 week off, and even tonight I was like getting ready, and I was a little out of shape. Hi, Karen. Good evening. I know I missed you too. I'm so happy to be back. So I had a very busy weekend away, and this upcoming weekend is another crazy busy weekend. And so for tonight's card, I actually went straight to the catalog and cased one of their cards. If you're ever like kind of unsure as to what to do, if you're stuck or just having a hard time what to come up with, that's where I go. I go straight to the catalog. Hi, Mom. Hello. And today's card was inspired by, let's see if I can show you here. On page 51 of the holiday catalog, this guy right here. He was 110% my inspiration for today. And my card mostly looks like this one. However, I did tweak it a little bit to make it a little bit just my own. So you're going to see that. Hi, Julie. Hello. I saw you last weekend, and I'll see you again this week. So fun. So here we go. It's got this beautiful kind of gold touches. I don't know if you can see, but I did emboss that with the subtle embossing folder, so it has some nice texture to it. And let's just dive right in. So my card front, guess what I forgot to get out? I always forget my bone folder. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Yep. Okay. So this is crumb cake cardstock. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Ahead of time, I took another piece of cardstock, the same exact size as my card front, which would be your 4 1/4. No, 4 1/4 by 5.5. And I went ahead and already embossed it with the subtle embossing folder. This by far, hi, Michelle. Hi, Roz. Good evening. This by far is my favorite embossing folder. I hope it never goes away, and I hope it stays forever because it just has so much texture to it, and it's subtle, hence the name. But it really is just adds this really nice texture without kind of being crazy. I'm going to adhere it down using tear and tape. I use tear and tape just because I find with the embossing folders, sometimes it has a hard time of just using snail, keeping things down and where it should be, just because there's so much texture. So I have the tear and tape, might as well go ahead and use it. Your favorite too, Karen. Isn't so fun? I just love it. I could probably use it on every card. I say that about a lot of things, but I think I really could. Oops. I hope it never goes away. Come on. There we go. Okay, tear and tape, it's just like a sticker, but sometimes it's a little tricky to get up. Of course, I'm not going to be able to get it up because I'm on live camera. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to start this way. Okay, there's one. And is that one? No. Okay, by far the hardest part of this card is getting the tear and tape up. There we go. There's 3. One more. There we go. Oh, that one came up really easily. And this covers the entire card front here. Again, the crumb cake, which is a really nice color. It's not a super, how do I say this? It's solid in the sense that there's no two colors on here, but it's got like these, like natural threads in it, so to speak. I don't know. It's hard to describe. So it's got some nice, I like the look of it. Okay. So then what I did is I used the rectangle stitch dies. These are a favorite. Again, I love them so much. I can use them all the time. And I cut out one piece from the, what's this called? Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series paper. It's got shaded spruce, the reddish cherry cobbler, and a thread of gold running through it. So, oh, fibers. There you go. What did I say? Threads? Fibers is definitely a better word. Thank you, Karen. This measures like 3 by 4 3/8. And then I also use the same stitched rectangles dies to cut out a Whisper White card. And this one measures 2 5/8 by 4. There's a whole slew of them in the dies, but these are the ones that I cut out. We're going to start with this guy here and do some stamping and put these aside. So what I'm using for our images is the Beauty and Joy stamp set. This is a great set because it covers a multitude of holidays or seasons, so to speak. This one up here, I think, is primarily meant for like your everyday floral spring, summer flowers. This one here is more fall. It's more that maple leaf. Great in your fall oranges and yellows. And then this guy over here is, I don't know what kind of leaf that is. Whatever kind of leaf that is, I think it's more like Christmassy, winter. Is it holly? Where's my mom? She was on earlier. She would know these things. And then it has some great sentiments. This one's kind of like your everyday. Then we have like more of a fall, Thanksgiving, or just everyday thankful one. And then you have your Christmas sentiment. You're going to notice in my card today that I didn't use this one on the front just because I didn't leave enough space for it. And so I needed a smaller sentiment down here. But once you open the card, I did use that sentiment in the inside. What did you say? Holly? It is holly? Okay, there we go. I knew someone would know. I was pretty sure that was holly. I don't know what this one is. We're just going to say floral. Hi, Joanna. Good evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. So for our card, let me just walk you through. I'm going to use this planter. And this here is what kind of shows up between these holly leaves. Ever so subtle, but it does. You don't want your holly leaves floating. It needs something to kind of ground it. And this guy here. So let's just get started. Let me set everything aside. Now, this is, I just keep bringing it back. At some point I will move on. This stamp set is a distinctive stamp set, which means it's something that's unique to Stampin' Up. And it's a stamp image that is very, very lifelike. There's lots of detail. There's depth in that stamp. And normally I would suggest stamping using a dauber. So a sponge dauber looks something like this. That's how I store mine. And when you're using a distinctive stamp set, what I would normally suggest is that you apply the ink using a dauber. However, it's wintertime, or just pretty much wintertime here in the Northeast and in upstate New York. And my ink pads reflect accordingly. So they run on the drier side. So I don't need to use a dauber. I'm just going to go ahead and straight stamp it. However, I would suggest if you live in a more humid, hot, definitely spring or summertime, applying the ink using a dauber. Again, I don't need to do that. But what you would do is you would just, I can do it for the shaded spruce one. This is my planter. I'm going to stamp this in crumb cake ink. And I was actually just using that set for a card. Oh, yay. I can't wait to see what it is. Now you've piqued my interest. And we're going to aim for the bottom there. Hi, Terry. Finally got you in clearly. Uh-oh. I hope the internet isn't giving me troubles. Okay, so that's how that came out. See the kind of the detail that runs in that. If your ink pad is too juicy, it's not going to come out clear. Hence, you're going to want to apply it with a dauber. Okay, I also wanted to quickly show you my, hold on, I have to get them. There we go. The colors that I'm using. These are my color palette. Where's Karen? Look, there's 5 of them. Usually I'm very strict and I don't go over 3, but there's 5 colors on this card. Go figure. Again, the planter was stamped in crumb cake. The soft suede I'm going to use as that tiny, tiny little branch. Not branch. What's that called? Not branch. What is that called? Holy cow, I just drew a complete blank. Trunk. The trunk. Soft suede ink. Because we can't have the holly leaves just flapping around with nothing grounding them. And then next I'm going to do the holly, which again was in shaded spruce. So normally what I would do is I would open up my ink pad and I would take a dauber. I know a lot of colors, Karen. Some of them are barely visible. I think that's why I can handle it. Hi, Heather. Hello from snowy, cold Wisconsin. Oh, You sound like a broken record. Trunk. Thank you, Karen. I must have had a very busy day at work today. I am just like, I can't think of words. Okay, so normally, again, I don't have to do it because my ink pads run a little on the drier side come winter. But normally I would just take a dauber and then ink it up and apply the ink that way. Ink it up, apply the ink. Ink it up, apply the ink. And it just doesn't over ink up your stamp. You don't want, with these distinctive ones, honestly, less is more. It's just a better way to get a clearer image and to really see all that beautiful detail in the stamp. You don't want to over ink it and have it not show up. Okay, hopefully this, oh, look at that. Oh, I love when it works. Isn't that so pretty? Look at all that beautiful detail. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how it works, but I love it. Okay, so here's the thing. If you are not into fussy cutting, and I find that you either love it or you hate it. I don't mind it, and if anything, I kind of err on the liking side. I find it kind of therapeutic. You can leave your card as is and put the red rhinestones on and call it a day. However, I just couldn't help myself. I had to do lots of fussy cutting. Again, that's how it showed up in the catalog, and I was kind of casing it. Is that why my ink pads are drier because of winter? Yes, ma'am. Yep. Because there's no humidity in the air, your ink pads are going to naturally be on the drier side. But here's the thing, don't over re-ink them, because come spring or summer, they're going to be ridiculously juicy and wet. So it's kind of like, if you can handle it and keep them on the drier side, do. But don't over ink them if you feel like you have to. That's what I found, at least. It's like I almost have two different stamp pads depending on whether the season we're in. Okay, so this is what I did. I took a separate piece of Whisper White and I did the same process again. So, sorry about that, that was squeaky. I stamped in the shaded spruce. See how it does come out darker? Because I didn't use the dauber. But I still think you can see a lot of detail. And, oh, I forgot to do the star. Hold on, let's not move on yet. I forgot the star. The star I'm stamping in crushed curry. It's itty bitty, itty bitty. It is super tiny. Look how tiny that is. Don't lose it. Be careful where you keep it, because it could easily be lost. Very, very easily. Hi Tina, good evening. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so again, you could finish your card, and let's say you don't like fussy cutting, you could call it a day. Put your red rhinestones on. Anyone would love it. Beautiful. But I just couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help myself. So, hold on, let me make sure. Okay, there they are. So I took my snips. If you are fussy cutting, you definitely need a pair of paper snips. Stampin' Up! Paper snips. They are super sharp, and they're on the smaller side, so they get into these tight corners very easily. Hi, Trudy. Welcome home. And I don't completely hug the stamped image. I leave like a little bit of a white outline. It's a little bit more forgiving if you make an oops or go too far in. You don't cut off something important. And I just went all the way around. And see, I could keep going now. I really do find this therapeutic. Other people would be like, I don't know, running for the hills. But I really do like this. Okay, so, but I'm not going to put you through the torture of that. I did that for each of the 3 images. I did it for the card, for the planter, and I did it for the star. But I did it ahead of time so you guys didn't have to sit here and watch me fussy cut. So there we go. Those are our ones that I did ahead of time. And to just add depth to it, I adhered them down using Stampin' Dimensionals. So here we go. This guy here can handle the big ones, and I'm going to put 2 and pop those off. Whoops. Oops. Yeah, who was saying, I think Karen said, I hope this carries over. I do too. I really do, because it covers so many different seasons. I think they should carry it over, but there's never any guarantee. This guy, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, which, by the way, I bought. Remember, for like the past couple of weeks, I've been cutting dimensionals because I ran out. I finally finally remembered to put them on my order. So I ordered up more minis. I put 2 minis. You love fussy cutting? Yes, I think the same thing, Tina. But I think we might be in the minority. Some people passionately don't like it. Some might be listening right now. You know who you are. Okay, then we have the littlest guy, which I only put 1 on my example, but he's kind of like flapping a little bit, so I'm going to try and get 2 on him as well. Yeah, that works. 2 minis. They definitely have to be minis, though, or cut down a big size one. Okay, and make sure you're lined up right, or else it's going to look weird. So was that like that, or was that like that? No, it was like this. Like so. Okay. We have that. Now let's do, you passionately don't like it. Oh, Heather, that's too funny. You passionately does. She doesn't just not like it. She passionately dislikes it. That's funny. I find that people either are like, I like it, or cannot stand it. Would rather do anything else but sit and fussy cut. Okay, we're gonna put some more dimensionals on this one here. I think it's kind of neat when you stamp an image like I've done, and then you either fussy cut or die cut something else and layer it with dimensionals, because the original stamped image on the cardstock can kind of show through. Like when you're holding it, you can kind of see it poking underneath, and I just think that's kind of fun. Now here's the tricky part. First of all, this star is very tricky to cut out, and don't do what I do. I had some extra thick Whisper White, and so that's what I stamped these out on. It's very hard to cut. Use your regular Whisper White first of all, and then just do your best. The star was tricky. There's even for like someone that's been fussy cutting for a while, it's challenging. And so I halved a mini dimensional. That's what's on the back of this. Super, super tiny. And even that like was ever so slightly too big. Okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna go with him looking like this. Oops, come on. Can I get him off my... Okay. Ta-da. Okay. So, whoop, there we go. You could leave it like that, even. But I took it one more step and added some really fun red rhinestones. How fun is that? It adds to the texture in the card. It adds a little bling. And, of course, now I can't find them. And it's something that's carried over from the previous catalog, which is even more fun. Oh, goodness, why can't I find them? Hold on. We may have to come back to them. Oh, there they are. They're hiding. So, look, that's all I have left because they carried over, so I've been using them for a while now. And they're called red rhinestones. They're not necessarily called real red, so keep that in mind. That one just popped off. We'll grab him. And I did like 2 on the top, and whoops, 3 on the middle. Again, they got just like a nice little shine, a little bling. Oops, that one goes there. I don't have them in a row necessarily. I kind of have them sort of up and down on the tree. Not on the tree. Is that a tree? On the holly bush. Like that. And one more. Whoops. Whoops. Go away. There we go. Okay. Yay. How fun is that? I love it. Okay. So let's start just kind of building here. I have that DSP, the wrapped in plaid. So pretty. And I need my adhesive here. And I'm going to adhere that to the card front, kind of centered. And then what I did next is I took a 1-inch piece of the gold foil. There is the gold in the DSP here, and so I just wanted to highlight it a little bit more. And of course, naturally, I'm using a punch that I can't remember the name of. Hold on, let's see if I can get my catalog out quickly. Oh, I could not remember that name. I knew I was going to forget it the second I took it out too. Delightful Tag Topper. There we go. I'm using the Delightful Tag Topper punch. It's a fun punch because it has 3 different sizes. So it fits the one. It's very similar to the triple banner punch. So it fits the 1 inch, a 1.5 inch, and 2 inch. Depending on, I'm glad I didn't hit cut. That was not even. So I'm just using the 1 inch here. And cutting it like so. Get rid of your garbage. And then I'm using a little bit of the shaded spruce mixed with gold ribbon. This is in the holiday catalog right now. I just love, 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 love this ribbon so much. Hold on, I gotta recut that. That was totally not, well, that's actually not that bad. Give a little bit more of a dramatic cut on that one. And all I did was fasten it with a stapler. Quite honestly, I didn't feel like tying another bow. And I wanted to keep it kind of, ooh, wow, those are really long. I got to trim them. Well, I'll just trim one. How about that? I'm just using like my regular house stapler. Nothing fancy. Stampin' Up! Used to carry one, but they don't any longer. So I'm just literally my purple stapler. Sliding it in and stapling it together. That is completely the like lazy way of attaching ribbon to a tag. I'm totally taking the easy way out. And I didn't trim this ahead of time because I kind of wanted to play with sizing a little bit. And I couldn't remember exactly how much I cut it at before. So this is what I do. This is how I don't know if you guys do this too, but when you're playing with sizing, you play with it. And then I take my scissors and I just mark the paper. And then I know where to cut it. So I'm going to take the new and glorious. It's so beautiful. I wish you all could be here to see how amazing this new trimmer is. And I'm going to cut it down. Oh, I'm doing this sideways. Hopefully I can do this. It does come with a scoring blade. I love this trimmer. Love. It's available now. You need it. You don't want it. You need it. And I'm just going to adhere that gold foil behind. Yeah, we'll do it like this. Behind that. Just to give, I don't know, a little extra bling. And then glue it all down to the card front. Like so. Okay. Beautiful. I really like the look of the ribbon and bookmark. Don't know what to call that shape. Yeah, I don't know. Like this here, the end of its shape. I don't know what you would call that. Scalloped of some sort. And then next, and I realize I put it all away. We're going to heat emboss. So I always forget to get something out. So let's see here. That. Hold on, where's mine? There we go. Okay, so again, I love the sentiment that comes with it. What is it? A Joyful Christmas to You. I really like that, but I felt like it was too big for the card front. And so yet again, another week, I'm going to use the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. I hope you're not sick of me using it. I think I've used it like every week. But I just love it so much because it has these cute, perfectly sized sentiments for like, little spots when you need a little something. So I'm going to use, or I am using the Season's Greetings. And I'm going to, this is just a 1/2 inch piece of cherry cobbler. I know you're thinking I'm very brave to try and get this straight. The rectangle gold paper with the ribbon. Oh, the designer series paper, this here, Joanna, that's called Wrapped in Plaid. It's a 6x6 pack of paper, and you get a ton comes in it. So I wiped it down with my embossing buddy to get rid of static. I'm inking it up in my Versamark ink. And goodness, I really hope I can do this straight. If not, I'm flipping it over and we're just doing it again. I use that set constantly. Yep, I do too, Karen. Oh, it's a little crooked. Let me sprinkle it and see if I should do it again. I do too. It's definitely, out of the whole holiday catalog, it's what I use the most. Hands down. I don't even have to think twice about it. Oh, I guess it's not that bad. It looked more uneven before I sprinkled it. Okay, so I sprinkled it with white embossing powder. Done with this, done with that. And then we're gonna take our heat tool and just heat it. Wait for it to get a little hot here. And don't burn your fingers, that's not good. And heat until it goes from the powder to nice and shiny. Done. Okay, now where's our card? I set it aside. Oh, here we go. I set it on my computer. That wasn't smart. So in my card, I put it here. And I was actually wondering if I should have put it on the other side. Do you think it would look better over here? Like, if I cut that off and have it hanging to the left. I think I like that better. As opposed to this guy that he's hanging to the right. That just looked a little busy to me. So I thought, oh, well, maybe for this one, I'll go to the left. Tweezers would be good here. Yes, I know. You're right, Terry. You're 100% right. I'm going to go with the left. And I'm going to just do a banner. So I'm going to snip up the middle. And then go from one side in. One side in, flip it over. And then the other side in. Ta-da! Then you have your banner. Hopefully that fits because I cut the banner that way. The left side, okay. Oh, I was afraid it would hang out a little bit. Well, I could just have it hang out and send it in a larger envelope. This is what happens, okay? Love the dimensions. Oh, good. This is what happens. I make a card and then I'm like, I don't know where to put the sentiment because I like it just the way it is. It happens every time. Okay, I think I'm just going to cover. Oh, I feel so conflicted. I don't want to cover it. Let me trim it a little bit more. I don't want to cover the planter. Oh, because you burned yourself recently. Oh, it's completely possible because it gets so hot. The temperature that it gets to is just crazy. Okay, I'm gonna have to cover it. Sorry, I don't want to have to cover. I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. But I'm gonna use dimensionals so that it's at the same height of the planter. So keep in mind, if you wanted to just hang off, you have to like shift all this over a little bit and not have it too close to the end like I did. But it's fine. It's all good. Oh, go straight. Don't do it, not straight. Hold on. I gotta move my dimensional because it's hitting the... Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Because I'm covering it, the dimensional was in the way. There we go, perfect. Okay. Pop it up, you'll still see it. Yeah, you still see it a little bit under there. It's a little different. Okay, now I wanted to just do quickly the inside of the card, and I totally forgot to cut cardstock. So let me just cut cardstock here quickly. The inside will be 4 by, let's see here, 4 by 5 1/4. Oops. Okay. And this time I am going to use the sentiment, A Joyful Christmas to You. I think that's just fun. It gets the point across. It says exactly what I want to say. And I'm stamping it in Cherry Cobbler, which is the same color that is in that designer series paper. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it is the color of the cardstock that I stamped the sentiment in. Oh, thanks, Amy. I'm so glad you like it. And I'm going to ink it up here. And when I stamp the sentiment, I like to go a little up. So like centered and ever so hot, slightly higher than middle. That way, if I still want to write a little bit, there's space. It's not like I haven't completely blocked myself out. And put some adhesive on this. Oops. And open it up. And in it goes. And there we go. I think I like it better over here, even though it is covering the planter a little bit. So there you go. Yay! So fun. And this is really easy. I mean, honestly, the thing that took the longest was the fussy cutting. So if you needed to whip up a whole bunch of Christmas cards, this is definitely one that you could easily mass produce. You just necessarily wouldn't do the fussy cutting, that's all. It would still be very pretty. So there you go. If for some reason you've been watching and have yet to leave a comment of some sort, quickly do that. As soon as I'm done here, I throw all your names into a hat and someone's going to get tonight's card here. I will be back next week at the same time. I don't think I have anything going on. Oh, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I always look forward to it, and I'll talk to you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.